Today we are moving to ALCUBIERRE, 40-kilometer mountain range in the Monegros comarca, in the north of Aragon, Spain, between the provinces of Zaragoza and Huesca, which divides the Gallego and the Isuela rivers.
This mountain range is named after the town of ALCUBIERRE, located 3 kilometers east of the range.
The highest parts of this mountain range can almost reach the 800 meters. George Orwell wrote a book about ALCUBIERRE. Here we have some facts that he wrote explaining the environment.
The hills in that part of Spain are of a queer formation, horseshoe shaped with flat tops and very steep sides running down into immense ravines.
The climate is usually warm and temperate. There are precipitations in ALCUBIERRE during all the year, even in the hottest months. The average temperature is 12.5 degrees and the average precipitation is 415 millimeters per year.
It was vile weather, with alternate mist and rain. We were 1,500 feet above the sea level now. It was beastly cold, with dense mist that came swirling up from nowhere.
Vegetation is scarce. It is dominated by the pine tree, although in the high parts of ALCUBIERRE we can find more vegetation, as for example oaks, steppe or orchids.
Nowadays, there are 3 trenches called La Ruta Orgel, Las Tres Juegas, and there is also a bunker. There are also natural caves made by the time and the erosion.
Most rocks are sedimentary, placed horizontally.
There are mainly gypsum and limestone. In Los Monegros, mammal population have historically not been very dense. The reason was because there wasn't a lot of water available, especially needed for larger animals. We can establish different areas in Los Monegros. The first one corresponds to the north part of the Sierra. In these parts there is abundance of water, and because of this there is a numerous and diverse invertebrate population, which are the major food source for birds, reptiles and mammals. The other zone is the south part. The limited quantity of water is the reason because of the limited animal life in this zone.
The dry fields are plain of winter grain crops. In their sides, the almond trees are abundant. Crops currently occupy most of the surface of the Monegros. Until a few years ago, almost the entire surface was devoted to rain crops, mainly barley and wheat.
With irrigation, crop varieties has increased, ranging from sunflowers to alfalfa. These crops are seriously affected all these steppe species that gradually lose their redoubts.
There are a lot of goat herds, and their milk was given to everyone of ALCUBIERRE. We can find 2 types of livestock, intensive and extensive.
As we said, the Sierra of ALCUBIERRE is a mountain range between the provinces of Huesca and Zaragoza, which runs from the northwest to the southwest in a length of 40 kilometers, consisting of poor soil and arid hills. Rock Monegros is a desert close to the Sierra, which is as old as the land itself. Much of its territory is already canalized with water of the Cinca and Gallego rivers.
In ALCUBIERRE, the main town of the mountain range, the population has been decreasing since the Civil War. At the beginning of the 20th century, the population reached around 1,550 inhabitants. During the Civil War, the population decreased in 300 inhabitants, and since then, the population has decreased gradually, until nowadays, when there are around 400.